Hey guys, what's up? Coronados here, and yes, I am on X-Mage. Yes, this is, no, this is not one of my decks. I was about to say yes, that was, no, this is actually, what I'm showing you here is one of my friend's decks, but this is just kind of a little something for you guys to look at while I'm kind of going off on a bit of a rant here, and, oh my god, this rant is long overdue. Now, anybody who watches me knows that I post deck techs and stuff for like different games. Now, some of you were probably wondering, where are the Yu-Gi-Oh duels? Where are the Yu-Gi-Oh deck techs? What is going on with that? I have mentioned it before that I have effectively quit Yu-Gi-Oh. There are reasons as to why this has happened, and I'm basically going to sit here and spell them out for you piece by piece. Yu-Gi-Oh! For the longest time was a very simple game in the fact that the field was very well defined, very well set in its ways, and the rules were concrete. Now, over the past couple of years, those rules have seen huge shifts. Let's take, for example, the shift from having the field we originally have to adding 2 new zones to that field. We're talking about the pendulum zones. Now, it's not enough that they add in from fusion summoning to add in synchro summoning and then exceed summoning and then make a rule with that synchro summoning that you can only have 15 cards in your extra deck. Now, that kind of changes the game quite a bit already on its own because of the sheer amount of types of summoning that you can perform with your deck. Now, I can also understand the rule because with all of that, the game becomes faster and faster and faster because Konami is going to create cards that create faster and faster and faster and faster decks. I get that. I understand that. They're also going to create more powerful cards to where you don't have to perform a summon from the X deck, brings out a monster from the extra deck, what used to be the fusion deck, and it keeps that monster on the field longer. Now, we get into pendulum summoning. This adds a whole new degree of things to the game. It adds in the ability to summon high-level monsters without tributing. You might as well be taking out tribute summons completely, aside from using monarchs. Because after that, monarchs were really the only thing that required any kind of tribute summoning. Or anything without pendulums. Anything like that. But who's really going to be normal summoning via means of tribute summon anymore, outside of using monarchs? Nobody. So many decks and so many archetypes have such just crazy ways of special summoning monsters. Now, with pendulum summoning with all the effects that allow inherent summons of high level monsters, all the effects that allow you to just straight up summon a monster out of your deck, it's just, you're not even drawing cards anymore. The ways you're plussing now is get it from your deck, get it from the graveyard, do whatever the hell you want. That is not the original intention of the game, and never was. It was, you play with what you have in your hand, and the better skill won. Now, you can search through your deck. I mean, yeah, you still got to do so in the right way, but if you know how to run the deck, it's basically just, here's a deck off the internet. It's basically net decking now. Here's a deck off the internet, here's how to run it. Once you've learned how to run it, it's easy. It's as easy as riding a freaking bike. I mean, it's insanely easy to win because there's no skill required anymore. Because you're taught how to run the deck. You are taught that these are the best decks and this is what you use now. Instead of the old ways where you actually had to have skill to run off your original draw and any other cards you may get due to draw effects or any limited amount of search effects such as Sangan or Witch of the Black Forest. Not saying though that it wasn't possible to search for other cards by other means back then, but it was very rare that you actually did it. Such as Mystic Tomato, which, I mean, if you ran that at 3, then it wasn't as rare, but it was still pretty risky to do so, because you summon a monster to the field, your opponent could just destroy it. Now, that is especially true in today's game. If you tried that in today's game, your field would still get obliterated, basically, and you would lose the game on the spot. Now, you add in the pendulum summoning, you and your opponent both have much easier ability to summon whatever the hell you want without any recourse or anything like that. It's an inherent summon, which, yes, they brought out cards to help counter that, but that's also situational given that you draw those cards and be able to set them assuming that your opponent's actually going to pendulum summon. But now, and I can't believe I'm saying this, now they have brought out what is known as link summoning, or they will be bringing it out. They brought it out in the OCG, now they're bringing it out in the TCG, and I have got to say this right now. Konami, you are out of your damn minds. You have taken what made Yu-Gi-Oh! Great, and you have just turned it into a monstrosity that is much different than what it originally was and what it should be. Forget the pendulum summoning crap. This is crap. And it really is. And that is effectively why I have quit the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Altogether. The only time I will play it anymore is if I am playing with friends, and that's only on DevPro or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, maybe Duelingbook now since Dueling Network has gone down, but I only made a Duelingbook account so I can follow another YouTuber if he does his low-rated duelist series. Now, everybody knows who that person is. I don't need to say who that person is. If you don't know who that person is, go look up low-rated duels or low-rated duelists. I can't remember the title off the top of my freaking head. And you'll find any of those, and then you can just subscribe to that person, follow them, and see every low-rated duelist from there. Now, this is mainly because of a cease and desist order, and they didn't want to support Dueling Network anymore, so they made Duelingbook. Now, with all that said, with all that in the tank, with all that on the stack already, let's look at how link summoning is. Yes, it was created to help nerf down the pendulum summoning. In my opinion here, and this is my own, pendulum summoning should have never been a thing in the first place, because it really made a huge change in the vehicle to the game and what it was. One of those changes, one of the biggest ones, was that it went from no matter what turn it is, you drew a card at the beginning of your turn, to now it's basically one-on-one MTG, where first player to make a move does not get that 6th card, whereas the player that goes second now does and is the only one to get that 6th card first. And then the next turn, they would get that 7th card, while you're still stuck on card 6, which calls for building decks with a ton of search power, hence the reason I had Raid Raptors as pretty much my final deck. And yes, Raid Raptors was my final deck outside of Dark Magician Girl, aka Waifu, which is what everybody called it. Now, my other deck was Different Dimension Demon, or DDD, D/D/D. Now, Now, you take link summoning, yes, it nerfs pendulum summoning, but it opens a door to something completely crazy and something that could deny your opponent from being able to use their extra deck at all barring the use, in fact, without even the use of certain spells and traps that say, no, you cannot summon from your extra deck. Or from the use of effect monsters that say, no, you can't use your extra deck. Because there is a way to link summon to where you get to use both of the extra zones. And I mean both. Now, normal rules state that you get to use only one and the other is reserved for your opponent. However, there is now a way, if you do it right, to where you can take up both zones and your opponent is unable to link summon or help or even synchro summon or exceed summon or fusion summon. It makes them unable to do all of that. Which you might as well say, okay, which one of us is going first? Okay, I'm going first. I'm going to do this, this, this. We're going to start a chain of link summons until we come around. Or we're going to start a chain of summons from the extra deck until we come around and hit that other extra monster zone. Then we're going to fill it with a monster. You cannot use your extra deck because there's no arrow pointing towards you. And I've filled both of the extra zones up. It's all mine. Screw you. That is so wrong on so many motherfucking levels. And it really is. Now, the flip side to that is they could try to remake the rules saying, no, you get one extra zone, you get one link zone, you get one extra deck monster zone that you get to use on the battlefield, on the field itself. Now, they could say that later on, but as of now, as it stands, one link zone, but there's a way to hack it and use the other at the same time. On the very same turn, too. Jeff Jones already broke this. Jeff Jones has essentially broken this combination and I've read up on it. You are able to do that, which isn't right. It's not fair to the opponent. It basically says, no, your opponent doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! At all. Unless they have a deck that just doesn't even care about that. Such as an Exodia deck, which you might as well be playing now. Like some Exodia Final Countdown or like Destiny board. You might as well be playing one of those. Or Jackpot 7. You might as well be playing one of those decks. Just some with an instant win combination. Or like 3 Egyptian Gods, Creator God of Light. One of those decks, and that's all you should be playing now, really. I mean, yeah, I know I say that knowing there are tier 1 decks that can win on the very first move, even with this new set of rules, which also makes the game more toxic. What Konami should have done, and yes, this is what Konami should have done, is they should have not created pendulum summoning in the first place. The anime should have not given room for pendulum summoning, and if they were, what Konami should have done was adapted it to the current game, to the game at the time, and make it fit the actual game. Let's just say it this way, people. In the show, they did not follow the rules, or the same rules or guidelines, as we do here in the real world. That is what made the game in the real world a hell of a lot better than the game in the anime or the anime itself. And that's being honest with you. Yes, I enjoyed 5Ds. I enjoyed GX. I enjoyed the original series. I enjoyed all 3 of them myself. But the truth is, the actual card game was better than that of the show's game. Because show's game and the real world card game followed a different set of rules for the most part, such as what life points you get, what you can do on your turn. Yeah, it was the same thing, but instead of setting monsters in defense position, you were allowed to summon them normally in defense position on the show. You couldn't do that in the real world. So in the real world, you could hide what you wanted to hide. Now it's basically turning into, well, you might as well just go ahead and give us the rules of the anime itself, because that's what Konami is essentially doing. But the original intent, the original field, that's the way I have long remembered it. That is the way I have long seen it as. I don't care about pendulum summoning. Not a lot of people do. I personally do not, and that is part of what started to drive me out of the game in the first place. It drove me out of competitive play. Link summoning and the link zones have driven me out of the game completely. It has now made it to where the game is, to me, in my eyes, completely unplayable and unbearable. And it truly is unbearable, and it is sad that I am saying that. Because I don't want it to be unbearable, but unfortunately it is. Which is bad. And when I say bad, I do mean bad. I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. This is not hyperbole. It's nothing. It is what it is. And it is the truth. The game has gotten bad. So, with that, I have focused down my attention on Force of Will, Magic the Gathering, a little bit of Vanguard, and a little bit of White Schwartz. Right now, I have a whole list of a White Schwartz deck that would cost me under 20 bucks to get right now. The only thing is, I don't have the money to get it. But hopefully, I'm keeping my head up here. I'm doing everything I can to keep my head up to try to change my situation on that. It's very hard though. And I'll be the first to tell you, it is hard from where I'm standing. But nothing good in life came easy either. So, essentially, I know I probably said this at the beginning of the video. I'm saying it now because I'm about at the end here. It's been around a 17-minute rant as of this point. Probably going to end up being 18 minutes long. But what I'm essentially saying is, fuck you, Konami. Fuck your game. You have ruined it for old-time players like me. You have destroyed the original concept. You have destroyed and perverted the original rules just so you could fit the anime itself. Now, I don't mean the old one. I mean the newest one. And the one just before that. You have perverted the game just to fit those in to the rules of the actual real world game, when all you had to do was readapt it to where, okay, we have these cards, but they're a little bit different and they're workable within the original formatting of mechanics of the game that is known as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading Card game. So again, fuck you, Konami. You have ruined your own game. You have perverted it. Anyways, guys, if you see this video, leave a comment down below. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. Tell me if you agree. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell, because you have to if you want to know when my videos go live. That is about enough out of me. I am Coronados. Peace out, guys. Love you all. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to add here. If you like this deck you see, go check out Oblivion Blitz's channel. He's the one that created this thing. Go check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description somewhere. And you can go subscribe to him. You can go see what he does on his channel. And everything like that. Yeah. I think that's about it. That's the only thing I forgot, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, just go check this thing out on his. Hell, tell him if you want a description, if you want him to describe it to you. Peace out, guys.